Hey, if you've been scrolling through the laptop market lately, you know the feeling. You see a sleek, ultra-thin machine with a crazy fast processor and a 165Hz display. And suddenly you're wondering if that price tag is justified or if you're just falling for the hype. I get it, especially when you're trying to decide whether a gaming-focused laptop like the GIGABYTE AERO X16 is actually going to handle both your late-night raids and your daily Zoom calls without turning into a pocket-sized heater. The link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, so you can see the exact specs and pricing while I walk through what really matters. First off, let's talk about the kind of person who would get the most out of this machine. If you're a content creator who also dabbles in high-end gaming, the AERO X16 tries to be that hybrid. It packs an AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX370 processor, which is the newest iteration of AMD's high-performance line, and pairs it with NVIDIA's brand new GeForce RTX 5070 GPU built on the Blackwell architecture. In theory, that combo should let you edit 4K footage in Premiere Pro while still being able to push 1080p titles at high settings. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM and a 1TB SSD round out the hardware, giving you plenty of headroom for multitasking and fast load times. For someone who works on the go, the 16.75mm thin chassis and the space gray finish make it feel more like a premium ultrabook than a typical gaming rig. Now, the same machine isn't the best fit for everyone. If you're a budget-conscious gamer who primarily wants to play titles at 1080p and don't need the extra horsepower for heavy rendering, you'll probably find a better price-to-performance ratio elsewhere. The AERO X16's value comes from its blend of high-end components and portability, not from being the cheapest way to hit 60 FPS in a shooter. Likewise, if you're a developer who only needs a decent laptop for coding and occasional video calls, you'd be paying a premium for features you'll never tap. Let's get into the day-to-day experience. I had the chance to sit with a friend who runs a freelance video production business, and he brought the AERO X16 into a client meeting. The first thing he noticed was how quickly the system booted up. Windows 11 Home loaded in under a minute, thanks to the SSD and the AI-enhanced boot optimizations that Gigabyte markets as GIGABYTE. The AI assistant actually helps prioritize background tasks, so you never get that dreaded slowdown while a game is launching. In his workflow, that meant he could open DaVinci Resolve, import a 30-minute 4K clip, and start trimming while the laptop kept the UI buttery smooth. The 2560160 WQXGA display, combined with a 165Hz refresh rate, makes color grading a pleasure. The panel is bright enough for indoor work, and the high refresh rate helped him spot motion artifacts when reviewing footage. On the gaming side, we tried a fast-paced title, Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2, with the settings cranked to high/ultra. The RTX 5070 kept frame rates in the 90100 FPS range at the native resolution, which is impressive for a 16-thin chassis. The real win here is the thermal design. The laptop stays under 85 degrees during extended sessions, and the fan noise is noticeable but not disruptive. The trade-off, however, is battery life. With gaming on, the laptop drained from full to empty in just under 2 hours. Even for regular office work, you're looking at around 4 to 5 hours of screen-in time before you need to plug in. If you travel a lot and plan to work away from power sources, that's a practical limitation. Another point worth mentioning is the port selection. The AERO X16 sticks to a minimalist approach. You get 2 USB-C Thunderbolt ports, a single HDMI 2.1 output, and a headphone jack. There's no dedicated Ethernet port, and you'll need an adapter for standard USB-A peripherals. For many creators, that's fine because you can dock at a workstation when you're at home, but if you rely on wired networking for low-latency gaming or you travel to places where you need a dongle, you'll have to factor in extra accessories. Now, let's talk about the hidden trade-offs that can catch people off guard. The laptop's thinness means the keyboard travel is shallower than what you'd find on a bulkier gaming laptop. If you're used to a deep-click mechanical feel, you might find typing a bit less satisfying, especially during long gaming sessions where you need quick key actuation. The trackpad is responsive but doesn't have the large surface area you get on some 15-inch models, so you'll probably want an external mouse for precise work. Also, the upgradability is limited. The RAM is soldered, so you're stuck with the 32GB you buy up front. The SSD is a standard M.2 slot, so you can swap it out, but you'll need to open the chassis, which isn't as straightforward as on a conventional desktop-style laptop. From a price perspective, the AERO X16 sits in the premium tier, roughly $200 to $800 depending on the